Hey everybody, this is Ben from Flippa. I'm here today with another of our amazing sellers. This is Roman Schoss from Germany. He has a really unique website, My Mun. It's all about Model UN situation going on all around the world. It's been around since we were kids, probably since our parents were kids. I'm not even sure, but we'll let him explain that later for us. Robin, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got started with this and what exactly your company does.
Sure. So you've already mentioned that we run a company that's based on the Model UN conference format. If you haven't heard what that is, it's basically debating, but you wear a suit and you pretend to be a world leader. That sounds very nerdy, and it is very nerdy, but it's lots of fun. It's extremely popular. It's a great soft skill building activity, as they say. It's even more popular than in America than it is in Europe. But our business and myself, we started out attending these conferences in Europe back in the day in 2014, 2015, and everybody ran their conferences with Google Forms and a spreadsheet, and everybody paid in cash, and that didn't really work so well. So 2014, we started a management platform for these kind of conferences in-house here in Hamburg, in Germany. And from there, it kind of took off. And today, that little management platform evolved into a global network of young people that attend these conferences, travel, get to know each other, debate politics, become lifelong friends. And they find such events and they apply to them and they prepare for them and they pay for them through our platform, which is MyMUN.
Interesting. So is it essentially, would you call it like a SaaS business, or is it a platform as a service, which I've heard that term recently? Because I know you're essentially making revenue because people are using your site to kind of run their Model UNs. How's that working?
So I guess SaaS is a good way to describe it, because at the end of the day, what we're selling is using a software, but the revenue model is actually a marketplace model, which is popular with other event management sites as well. So if you are a conference and you want to advertise and use our platform to run your registrations, you don't actually pay any license fees. The attendees, the people that sign up and join your conference, they pay a small transaction fee on top of buying their ticket from you, and that's how we generate revenue. We also have a few other revenue streams, but that's the main idea: make the platform available for free to the conferences, so they don't have to add another item to their budget, and just levy a very, very small fee from attendees.
Interesting. So it's almost like one of the classic ticketing agencies, but for a niche subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then one thing, and you touched on the fact that Model UN is really popular in the U.S., but obviously around the world. I noticed your traffic is very universal. It had Poland, India, Spain, Turkey, U.S. Are those countries, what are your top, like, I know those are kind of the top countries where you're getting visitors, but are those also the top countries where you're getting revenue, or are they just clicking the links a lot? Like, where's your revenue kind of coming from around the world?
No, our revenue does come from countries like Poland and India. We started out with a conference here in Hamburg in the middle of Europe. And the way that our growth model has been working is that it's a sticky growth model. And that means once somebody uses our platform, they usually use it again. And the unique thing about these conferences that we work with is that you usually start out as just someone who joins such a conference and participates in it, and that's called being a delegate. But eventually you graduate and you run your own program at your own school or at your own university. And if you've attended a conference and used MyMUN to attend it and had a good time using it, you will use MyMUN to run your own conference with it. And that's how we've kind of grown in Europe, because people attend a lot of conferences inside of Europe, and it's been organically growing from there. And then we've kind of managed to go into India and into Southeast Asia and Australia as well. We've never quite managed to jump across the pond to the US, but that is just another expansion opportunity for whoever takes over the business.
Yeah, obviously a huge one if Model UNs are popular in the U.S., which I know they are. It's not something I ever participated in, but it's something I've heard about my entire life. So I know it's around. I know it was at my high school, college, wherever they do it. But it's quite interesting. And you mentioned the organic growth, which is obviously something everyone's always looking for, because the less, I guess the less theoretical work you can do, the better. But I am curious, what, if any, paid marketing or just marketing that takes a little bit more time, whether it's organic social media, anything like that, how are you guys doing?
We're only doing one paid marketing, and that is AdWords, because all of the keywords in this niche, because it's such a niche, are very, very cheap. So we buy our keywords for a cent or two at most. So we put a little bit of money into that, because a lot of the traffic that we get is from people looking to attend conferences, and they're going to Google something like MUN conferences in North America. And if you do that, you can do that right now. Our website is going to show up, and you're going to be presented with a gallery, a list, and interactive databases of conferences in North America. So that's how we manage to generate a lot of attention, a lot of traffic with a rather low investment. Other than that, we've tried other things. We've tried social media advertisements. We've tried hiring people to do selective outreach, but nothing's ever quite worked as well as just waiting for people to come to us. That has always been the best investment. And so we haven't been growing exponentially as we maybe could have, but we have been growing very steadily over the last years.
Yeah, no, I mean, who doesn't like organic growth? And as you said, that just leads to opportunity. If there's someone who wants to take this over, who knows some sort of incredible algorithm or tip on how they can market it, then there they go. They can take it to the moon. And I just looking at your stats, you're already doing just on a analytical level pretty incredible, with over 300,000 page views on average a month. Almost 50,000 of those are unique users. I mean, that's, most companies would kill for that. And for such a niche subject matter, that means you're getting people who are truly interested, which is the most important part, because you're not just accidentally searching for Model UN and stumbling upon your page. You're definitely looking for that. So I'm curious, it sounds like it's been great. You've been running this for what, 5.5 years, something like that. Why sell?
Well, there's a few answers to that question. There's a few components, a few factors that came into it. First of all, I've been building this platform while I was a student. I was studying law here in Hamburg, and MUN is something you do between middle school and university. Once you've graduated and you've become an adult, you got to work and you got to pay taxes and do all these adult things. So you kind of stop doing it. And the same goes for me. I finished my studies and I've joined the bar, and I started working as a lawyer. And while I like having this project as a hobby, I do some of the programming and the design as well. So it's a skill builder for me. I do want to concentrate on my main career, and the same goes for my colleague, who's the chief engineer, so to say. He is still a student, but he's going to graduate soon as well, and then he's going to want to take care of other things. And while MyMon is very successful in what it does and generates quite a bit of revenue, it's not quite enough to raise a family on. It definitely doesn't compete with a lawyer's salary. So I want to transition it from hobby to handing it over to someone who can take care of it full time, maybe.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. You noted you have a partner in the business. Who else is helping you? How much time does it take to run on a given week?
So the three people that are active in the business are me, my co-CEO, and my co-CTO. About 6 or 7 months back, we decided that we would try to sell the platform, and while we're doing that, try to automate it as much as possible to reduce the time that we spend on it actively. The way that we divide the tasks is that I do some key account management and some other miscellaneous business stuff. My co-CEO takes care of bookkeeping, and he's the liaison with insurance companies and travel companies. He's actually our first investor as well, because he saw the opportunity of marketing travel products to people who travel abroad to go to conferences. And our CTO then does the basic server maintenance and the odd bug fixing. And we stopped developing new features because we consider it feature complete, actually. And since all these things are well automated, already done, or don't require much effort, each of us maybe maximum spends 5 hours a week on this. The time that I spend is probably an afternoon a week, 3, 4, 5 hours answering emails, coordinating some things. The CTO takes a bit more time because he does like to dive deep into the bugs and fix them for real and not just superficially. And the bookkeeping is probably 2 to 3 hours a week.
Right.
So if you wanted to do all that by yourself, you could probably do it on 1 day a week. If you already have an infrastructure, it's probably even less time. So it's a very low hassle, low effort business to run.
Hey, yeah, I mean, for the amount of revenue that you guys are producing, that's pretty fantastic. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe in your listing you mentioned that you're happy to give several months of support to a new owner. If you just, are there any skills specific to MindOne that someone might need to come in? Like, obviously they need to have, basic understanding of website infrastructure and anything like that. But anything, do they need to know about Model UNs? Do they need to know about some specific technology you're using? And then, part two of that question is, once they have those basics covered, how might you see them growing the business? Or are there any opportunities you kind of haven't tackled?
Mm-hmm. So for the skills, you don't need any skills that you couldn't learn from us in 5 or 6 months of transition time. If you know how to write emails and to do basic bookkeeping and to keep a website alive, that's already all you need to know. If you really want to work with the software stack and optimize things, you should know about Python, which the backend is based on, and AngularJS, which the front end is based on. But you can always outsource that. Other than that, the main skill that made the business successful was my connections within the scene of Model UN participants, which got us the first contacts back in the day and the first customers. But that's kind of been embedded in the company itself. People in the scene now recognize the company for its own name and for its own merit, and no longer through me, because I also don't attend conferences anymore. So even if we disappeared after day one of the sales process, you could still run this business very successfully. But as you mentioned, of course, we're happy to make a very, very smooth transition, which would mainly consist of bookkeeping, of transferring the books, transferring the key accounts, making sure that the buyer is up to date with what we've negotiated with who, and the tech stack, of course, as well. Now, for the opportunities, you could really take this business almost anywhere you want. You could just keep it running as it is and just do what we did and keep it as a side business, as a hobby, as a almost passive income. No, not almost. It pretty much is passive income at this point. You can do that and it'll pay itself back in very, very few years. You can also do, as you mentioned, throw money at it and try to get that hockey stick growth and really go through the roof internationally with thousands of American conferences that we're still not working with, and go for that 1 million, 2 million, 5 million user benchmark and just get the most out of it. That is totally possible. I'm not the one to do that, but maybe you are. And the third big idea I have is that you could take what we already have, take the platform we already have, and take it to do a pivot and take it to a slightly different direction. Right now, it's an event management platform and a closed social network. But consider that the people who attend these conferences are what's called young high potentials. They study at university. They often study politics or law or diplomacy, and these people are going places. And so if you want to build a very high value network of young people that are going to leave an impact on the world, that is something that you can turn this platform into with a career-oriented focus. You could also double down on the whole travel side of it and actually start offering trips to such conferences as a group travel business. There's so many aspects to it that it's not only interested for somebody who's just looking for the numbers, which, as you pointed out, are quite good. The business is making money and it is growing. But if you have a strategic interest in young people or in travel or in engaging with youth, that's also something that you can take advantage of with this platform.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, if someone already had a business that focused on something that might be complementary, that'd be perfect. Or
yeah.
I would have taken me a minute to get to where your thoughts went there, but you've obviously had a few minutes with the platform. But yeah, like
yes.
I'm envisioning like a specialized LinkedIn / Expedia / everything going on all in one space, just because it's this whole world in there. Well, that's amazing. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to point out about the company, but I think I've learned quite a bit. So if you have anything to add, let me know. Otherwise, I will thank you for your time. It's been really good speaking with you, Robin.
No, thank you. I think we've covered everything. If you're not interested by now, then Maiman isn't for you. If you are interested, you can find our listing and Flippa and get in touch with us for more information. We'll be happy to answer all the questions you have in writing or on the phone or in person if you feel like coming here, if you're still allowed to come here, and then we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, of course. We will obviously link to your listing wherever you're seeing this, whether it's on YouTube or our blog. We'll also be throwing this video. Perhaps you're watching it right on the listing. Nobody knows. But yeah, the best thing to do if you are intrigued is just start a discussion right through Flippa, and sounds like Robin is happy to interact with you with whatever way is easiest. So thank you, Robin, for being here today, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.